So, Stephanie, welcome. And I'm Lisa Bell. So can we hear the audio now? Can anyone let me know that by raising their hand if there's an issue? Okay, I think we can hear now. Sorry about that. So I'm Lisa, I'm with Natural Merchants. And we are, as most of you know, an organic wine import company, and we are very happy to work with Maison Raymond, who is one of our great top suppliers for our wines across the country. We work in 43 different states, and the Léo de la Garde, we're very happy to have the red and the white distributed just about everywhere in the country. And today we're talking about the Rosé that is also super fabulous, and I am very excited to be tasting that today with you. So Stephanie is joining us from her home in Bordeaux. And the Raymond family has been involved with the wine business since 1850. Can you tell us a bit about that, as well as where the winery is located?
Sure. Thank you, Lisa. It's been a pleasure to work with you and work with Natural Merchants for the last 13 years, I believe. So yeah, it's been great. The Raymond family, 7th generation, 1850, in the heart of the Entre-deux-Mers, between the two rivers, the Garonne and the Dordogne. This is south of Saint-Émilion. This is where the largest appellation, the largest production area is. Very well known for their whites, their clarets, and their rosés. Their whites because we're very near the biggest oyster farm. We're about 40 minutes from the oyster farm on the Bassin d'Arcachon, the Bay of Arcachon. So this is the largest production area in Bordeaux.
Fantastic. So in the year 2000, Lionel Raymond decided he was going to convert the vineyards to organic production. Tell us about that story.
Well, the next door vineyard, Chateau Jume-Fillon, was on sale, and harvest came around, and Lionel went and tasted the grapes and said, wow, you know, we're touching vineyards, and the concentration, there's less grapes, of course, but the concentration is there, the pureness of the fruit. And he bought the vineyard and decided to convert the whole vineyard, everything, all the hectares. So his grandpa thought he was pretty crazy, because he waited all his life to be able to save his harvest with anything, basically. So his grandfather told him, "You're a little bit crazy. I waited all my life to have things to help me, and you're going to go back to the old way." He said, "Yeah, but that is the future. We cannot use pesticides all of our lives, and that's how more a way of life than a trend. That's how he decided to convert everything."
Fantastic. And can you walk us through what organic production means for Maison Raymond in the vineyard and in production?
Well, for us, the difference between conventional and organic, we're not allowed to use chemicals, pesticides. The only thing we're allowed to use is copper. And even since last year, we're allowed to use very small amount, and which is kind of tricky for us because the Bordeaux area is a very humid area. So we have lots of rain, and but we use very small amounts. And the difference is basically when you dig into an organic vineyard compared to a conventional vineyard, you can actually find living things. You're going to find living worms. You're going to find all kinds of living insects, which in conventional, with all the chemicals, the pesticides, there's not much living in the soil anymore. Also, we've been doing studies because we have woods around the vineyard, and there has been instincted species of birds that have been nesting in these woods. These birds are actually looking for non-polluted, no chemicals, no pesticides, very pure areas, and that's where they build their nest. So biodiversity is very, very important, and we can see that in an organic vineyard, everything is living.
And so those birds had not been there for a while, right?
No, they had not been there. They were almost an extincted species. So, and they did studies and found that they were nesting more and more. So
that's fantastic. In the production itself of the wine, what does organic mean for that particular aspect as well?
Do you mean like indigenous yeast that we use?
Right. So you're using indigenous yeast within
yes
wine
we
production.
use less sulfites. Less sulfites are red tidal around 50 parts per million, and our whites and our rosés tidal around 80, 90 at the most, always under 100 to be able to have the made from organically grown grapes sentence, of course. And but when you know that a Californian wine can go up to 350, 50 is really nothing. We really use what is needed, and they have a great keeping potential.
Sure. And because those are being imported into the US, it's important to have some form of preservative, which is what that's serving to.
Yes. Yes. But just what is needed.
Right. We do have them far and wide, so it's a good thing. So tell me a little bit about your personal story. How did you get to Maison Raymond? Were you always from France? Tell me a little bit. Tell us all about Stephanie.
Born in Bordeaux, did my studies in California. My mom was a pastry chef. I had some of my family that had a vineyard in Médoc. So it was in the family that we used to harvest every year. And I did some harvesting and vinification in Portugal. Went to school for wine in the Bordeaux Wine School it's been a while now, 2006, and I started at the Maison Raymond as an intern and been there ever since.
Oh, that's fantastic. And what is your title now?
I'm a brand ambassador. I used to take care of Asia, Europe, and US, but as our markets grew, we had to use other strategies, and now we have somebody in the Asian market, somebody for the European market, and I take care of the US. And I work on the marketing aspect, of course, but I also work on the production and with the profiles of the wines. The US is not going to want the same wine as the Chinese market. So that's what I also work on.
So that's interesting. What kind of aspects of the wine are different from the Chinese market to the US market?
Well, the Chinese are going to want something stronger. The US are going to want more roundness, more concentration, but not strong. When the Chinese are going to be liking something with much more character.
Interesting. So a higher alcohol content as well?
Yeah, also.
Interesting. Okay. Well, let's move on to the wine itself that we're tasting today, which is the 2019 Léo de la Garde Rosé. Tell us a little bit about what are the grapes within this, was there anything specific about the 2019 vintage itself that we should look for here?
So 2019 is a year where the weather is really hot. We get a heat wave. I remember we had more, greater temperatures than California had. So it's a hot summer. We didn't get quite a spring, you know, it went from winter to summer almost. But we get this hot summer, so we get a great maturity on the grapes. So we get a lot of concentration on the wines. Then we're gonna get that, the hot summer, so we're kind of, worried. And we get that rain just before the harvest, just right on time. So 2019 is gonna be a lot of concentration on the wine. You're gonna get, it's very floral. You're gonna get rose petals, hints of rose petals. You're gonna get citrus fruits. You're gonna get fresh berries, strawberries and raspberries. You get that concentration on the palate and a good length. Bordeaux rosés are gastronomic rosés, so they're going to hold up to your food. You need that concentration. You don't want something too light.
It's really fantastic. What are the varietals that are within the varieties of grapes that are within this?
50% Merlot, 40% Cabernet Sauvignon, 8% Cabernet Franc, and 2% of Malbec. And the Malbec is to bring a little spices. It's going to bring a hint of spice, something like cumin, a little bit of touch of cumin.
It's really fantastic.
Usually, rosé wines in Bordeaux are Merlot based and Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc. But we wanted to add that some kind of exotic notes by bringing the Malbec.
And tell us a little bit about the other really interesting Malbec that you have called En Mémoire du Malbec.
Mm-hmm. So it was in 2015. We've been, as the climate is changing in Bordeaux, we've been planting more and more Malbec. It is one of the grapes that is being planted right now more and more. And that was planted back in the 15th centuries, about 80% for the northern part of Bordeaux. So we decided to pay a tribute to Malbec by making an En Mémoire de Malbec, in memory of Malbec. And it's a 100% Malbec, usually used as a complementary wine varietal. We had 5%, 10%. But it's a grape that we're seeing more and more. We're getting hot weather. It's a grape that loves the hot weather. So it's behaving very well. When before, back in the 1500s, we had lots of the humidity and it wasn't doing too good. So we planted on hilltops and now it has a lot more sun and wind and it's doing fantastic.
That's great. And it's one of my absolute favorite reds that we have in our whole portfolio. And I find it's just completely different from an Argentinian Malbec.
Yeah.
As well.
You get that Bordeaux touch, the French touch. You get, and it's more delicate also than a Cahors, because we don't have that same climate. So you get that delicacy of Bordeaux, I believe, and because less sun, we pick our grapes at night, so we get the fresh berries inside. So there's a more freshness to a 100% Malbec than 100% Cahors.
That's fantastic. So going back to the rosé, what are some pairing ideas that you guys normally would do in Bordeaux for the rosé here?
Well, barbecue, first of all, it's going to hold up to your food very well because it has that concentration. Appetizer, barbecue, it's really nice. The night before last, I think that's how you would say it, I had a chicken with lemon confit and cilantro. And that, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, good.
And that was fantastic. That was a fantastic pairing, actually, with chicken.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. All right. Any other wines that you'd like to tell us about in the portfolio, like maybe La Jolie or? So
La Jolie is harvested by hand, used to be destemmed by hand, vinified and aged in 400-liter barrels. And I'm sorry, it's 9 in. I have the kids. Vinified and aged in 400-liter barrels for 24 months.
That's great. And which vintage is it? The 2018 vintage will be was hand harvested in part by some of the Natural Merchants team.
Definitely.
So we're looking forward to that one.
We have a harvest fest every other year. Oh, Léo de la Garde. Léo, which means the top of the hills, de la Garde.
Yeah.
So regarding,
not an easy one to pronounce, but
it's not really. So yeah, the S is not pronounced, so it's Léo de la Garde. Nice. Not an easy name to pronounce. So every other year we have a harvest fest. People come from all over the world. And 2018, we were pleased to receive the Natural Merchants team, and there was 170 people that came. Wow. So it's bands playing out in a vineyard. We harvest in the morning, harvest by hand, La Jolie, and then used to be destemmed by hand, but now people just want to go and have the lunch and the party and stuff. So, but it's whole berries that go into the barrels, the new barrels, and then we have a great lunch and a great afternoon and bands that come and play. So it's always a great time.
It actually went all night long, I believe.
Yes, it does.
From the morning all the way through the evening.
Exactly. So always the first week of October when all the harvest is done and everybody's tired and they just want to go and party.
That's great. Great. Well, I am going to open this up to questions and answers, and I'm going to turn on everybody and allow you guys to talk to each other. And actually, I'm going to make you panelists. So if you want to do video, you are welcome to do that.
Sure.
If you'd like to keep anonymous with your photo, Stephanie, you can keep on the video, please. And yeah, please, if anybody has any questions, let me know. Okay, let's see. tell us about the green aspect of the winery as well within Bordeaux.
Within Bordeaux, we went and how long? It's been a while now. 6 years ago, we did 2,500 square meters of solar panel on the vineyard. So this part is for all the stock of the material, and also the tractors, and it can provide electricity for about 8 small towns.
Wow.
So it was the largest green project in 2004. And we recycle everything. We use rainwater to wash down the tractors to not use, and things like that. Try to be as green as possible.
Fantastic, fantastic. Who else has questions? Welcome to everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Annie.
Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Lisa.
Hi. Hi, Annie.
Good to see you.
Hi, George. Hi, everybody.
What questions does anyone have about the Léo de la Garde Rosé 2019? Or Stephanie?
I don't know how this works. It's new for me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Cool. Okay, so I think you were answering this question, but I didn't quite catch it.
Okay.
How much skin contact are the grapes getting, and which varietal gets more?
No skin contact. Direct press. Direct press. We use direct press just like we do. They do in Provence, but we're looking for a little bit more color.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we try to be light, but we don't want to take all the aromas out. We want some structure and concentration. So, but we do direct press.
Great. I love this. I love this rosé for its because it has enough robustness to go with so much food. I really enjoy that.
Yes, and I was talking to you about the chicken, but also with grilled prawns, or grilled prawns, but with barbecue, it can hold up.
Yes, thank you.
So we have had a great success with this rosé in the U.S. Where else in the world does it do well, Stephanie?
Well, Léo de la Garde is doing very well in Japan. We're at the Four Seasons in Japan and at the Tokyo Sommelier School. And it's also doing very well in Scandinavian countries.
Interesting. And organic in general does quite well in Scandinavian countries.
They do.
They drink more organic wine per capita than any other country.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Have you ever asked that question?
They're very, from the beginning, from when they're young, they're very eco-conscious.
Mm-hmm.
They're, well, even in France, we do our gardens. We have traditions like that. So organic for us is been, I mean, my grandparents always had gardens. So, and we had a poultry house, and we had, so organic is just a way we've been knowing. I mean, when you taste a tomato from the supermarket and you taste one from your garden, it's definitely not the same thing.
Right. Okay.
Are you saying that it's in Finland as well?
Yeah, they're very, I have girlfriends that live there, and they're very, eco green, very, very aware, and very concerned with the environment and what they eat, what they drink. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, my brother lives there with his nephew, so I'll have to have him look for this wine.
Yes, definitely.
I can't send it to him, but at least he can get it.
Yes, definitely.
So Stephanie, a couple of the trends that we're seeing in the U.S. are dry farming, as well as being sugar-free.
Yes.
And this wine actually hits both of those marks.
Yes, we're not allowed
as to the other two, Léo de la Garde, the red and the white. So all three. So can you speak to that a little bit more?
We're not allowed to irrigate in France, so we fit into the dry farming category. And so the dry farming category, and all our wines are 0.3, 0.5 at the most in sugar. It's there is no sugar.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So the wines can be keto friendly, paleo friendly. We define sugar-free wines as anything under 1 gram per liter.
They all are.
Yeah, like all of your wines within our portfolio actually meet that criteria. So it's great, and makes it easy for people on a diet. And I think especially that good for you and good for the planet is really a trend right now. And I think it will be even more so after we're all
I think even more so when, yes, with everything that is going on, we've seen our sales go up. Definitely people are very very conscious about what's going on. They want to, I mean, it's also an eco movement, you know. Just to let you know, it's just a hint, but it makes a difference. We use sugarcane corks.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they not only do they keep the freshness of the wine, but they're also recyclable and very green.
So these can go right in the recycle bin. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. They're fantastic. They prevent any corkage from happening on the wines as well.
Yeah.
And you know, we've had great success with these in the market.
Yeah, and as you know, well, we keep the corks for the La Jolie and all the reds, but for the whites and the rosé, we try to use as much of these as possible rather than to use the bark. So yeah, to preserve as much as possible.
It's great. Can we find the Léo de la Garde wines nationwide?
Yeah.
Pretty much so, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Both in small retailers, smaller natural food stores as well, and in some natural chains as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. Such
And
as
yes, they're in small boutiques and healthy green shops also.
Great. What other questions do we have from the gallery here? You all look beautiful.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Cece.
Oh shoot, I'm suddenly blanking on what it was. Oh, it's about part of your practices. Let's see, you guys are doing, oh, I know. What we are tasting here in the US, is this similar to something you would also promote and sell in France?
Yes.
The style.
Definitely. The style. This is the Bordeaux typical style.
Okay.
You know, it has more concentration than the Provence, definitely. It has more aromas, but definitely what we try to do with the range of Léo de la Garde is be very typical of the appellation. On the white, you're going to get the citrus fruit, you're going to get the white flowers, you're going to get a nice acidity towards the end. This is what you're going to get in the Entre deux Mers. On the red, you're going to get concentration, the variety of Merlot, and you're going to get fruity but easy drinking. And same thing with the rosé is you're going to have something very typical of Bordeaux with concentration, strawberries, rose petals, and it's something that holds up to your food. So in the range, it's easy, and they're easy and accessible and very representative of the region. So what was our first vintage of rosé? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't around. It's been a while, but the style of rosé back then, it was more claret than it was rosé, so it was a light red. So I couldn't give you the date, but it's been a while, and we try to go lighter and lighter in color. And yes, I did mention the use of copper, and that's in the vineyard. That's the only thing we are allowed to put to prevent from the disease. And we use very little, and we test our soils to see if it does not affect the soils. And depending, we have a clay calcareous soil. It does not affect our soil. It is more affecting on sandy soils, which absorb more.
From all of you participants who have the wine in front of them, I would love to hear some of your tasting notes as well. You can feel free to type them in or speak out loud. You guys can just unmute yourselves if you would like. I'd love to hear some other feedback from other people, what you're tasting in the wine. And Annie reminded me that these wines can also be found on organicwineexchange.com. and as part of Annie's wine clubs, as well as individual purchases as well.
Yep. I'm loving this wine. I love the body and the roundness of it. I love that it's not, the acidity is just right. It's not like, you know, it's so easy. Like right now, I mean, it's 12, I'm on Pacific Coast Standard Time. I usually am not cracking open a bottle of wine at 12, but then it is a Saturday. So I'm not really eating it with anything, but it's just so enjoyable by itself.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily need to be paired with wine or food, even though, I mean, that's an added benefit, but it's just a nice sipping wine for a Saturday.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, indeed, it does not need food, but it reveals itself, I think, with some food, like the chicken cilantro I told you about. That was pretty good.
I was just rushing from the farmer's market to make this meeting, and I just bought some cilantro, so I'll have to try that out.
Perfect. Let me know.
Okay.
Fantastic. Anyone else want to share some tasting ideas, tasting notes?
Hi, Lisa. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Tim.
Hi,
here.
Tim.
Hi, how are you, Stephanie? Great presentation.
I'm doing well.
I really appreciate you doing this. I hate to say it, but the more I drink it, the more I like it. So we have a problem here.
Uh-oh.
No, it's a good problem.
Yeah, this is a very good problem. Something very well-rounded, easy to drink. I was really, really impressed. And with so many grapes put together, so many varietals, I find it very, very rounded. And especially, like Annie said, the acidity. I really like where it's at. It's very good, very good. Something that you can drink easy if you don't really necessarily need food, but you know, in Spain, we have the typical, you have something with tapas, and it's perfect for that as well, something like that. Great, I love it.
Thank you, Tim. There's a question from Edward Field. Has the winery decided to produce the wine with a lighter salmon color as other producers of rosé have done? And vegan as well. Well, definitely. The lighter style of rosé is very Provence style, which has made the fame of Provence. But Bordeaux rosé is a little bit more colored. So you don't want it too colored, because then you're going to be in claret and people don't want that dark color rosé. But you don't want too light, because you're taking out so much of the aromas. I love Provence wines, but I feel like over the years they've tried to go lighter and lighter and lighter in color, and you know, and a little bit, the aromas are just not there anymore. I feel like we're getting this homogeneous kind of type of wines for everybody, and not the character of each wine grower. So we are trying to go lighter. I don't know if we'll get to the salmon color, but we are definitely trying to go lighter. And vegan, we're in the process. And then there was the COVID. So we were still hoping to get something by next month. Hopefully, so we're not on lockdown since Monday. So all the administration are back up.
Right. So that's just the certification, but you are vegan friendly produced.
We are. We're just waiting for the paper, but we've been vegan for a long time. We use bentonite clay to filter the wines, actually.
Right. So that's generally where it shows up in wine production. And actually, as natural merchants, we have 100% vegan wines. Mm-hmm. So that is one of our tenants that we're really focused on. That's also a huge trend, as well as something that people are really concerned about and looking for.
Okay. A big fan. I'm sorry, Lisa.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just reading. Big fan of Cabernet Franc. Love to see this grape in a blend. What do you believe it adds? We use Cabernet Franc to add elegance and finesse to our wines. It's while the Merlot is bringing lots of aromas, the Cabernet Sauvignon is bringing that body, and the Cabernet Franc brings a lot of delicacy to the wines, and elegance to finish it. And the Malbec, a little bit of a spices it up.
Great. Any other questions from anyone to Stephanie about anything about the vineyard, the wine itself?
How has the pandemic been affecting the operations of the winery and your business, since you travel so much? How is that affecting?
Well, no travel for me. Okay. So no travel for me. It's affecting us on the production side, definitely, because as an example, we're not getting the bottles. We're not getting, the printers were all closed, so we were not getting labels. We had a lot of people that didn't want to come work, which is understandable, that are their health is delicate, so they stayed home. So we're on short staff, and the hardest part is the bottles that we're not receiving. So, but everything is starting to open little by little again, and finger crossed it's gonna go well.
Well, I have a lot of customers that love your wine.
Thank you.
All of them, the Malbec, the red, the rouge, the Rosé, the Blanc, the Prestige.
Fantastic.
The Cuvée.
Always happy to hear that.
That's great. Anything else from anyone? Family winery, yes. Can you speak to that a little bit more too? How many generations back does my son Raymond go?
7 generation. Lionel's grandfather passed away about four years ago now, but he's the one that helped him out, because he had never known pesticides. Pesticides and chemicals started coming for the vineyards in the 1970s. It actually, all the use and the production today represent 20% is used into the vineyards, which is still huge. And, and I mean, areas in Saint-Emilion, we had ministers come and say, you're going to have to not use them anymore. You have a school in the middle, people are getting sick. This cannot happen anymore. So family-owned vineyard, Jean-Pierre is helped Lionel a lot, but definitely it was Lionel's grandfather who helped Lionel in his decision making into organic and how to treat, or with copper, and be careful with other things, and work the soil, because when Lionel started in 2000, there was no machine to work the grounds, which now exist because there is more and more organic vineyards. But back then, your number one thing on a vineyard was a garage to make your own machines to work the soil. And Nanu is the great chef of the family. She has a garden, and she cooks, and she's Lionel's mother, and she's the greatest cook I've come across, and always organic. A sparkling wine. As much as we love to do that, you need underground cellars. You need so far in Bordeaux, there are great sparkling. What we do is actually bring the grapes to someone that's going to make our sparkling wine, but we don't make it ourselves. So we have a sparkling wine, but we bring the organic grapes to them.
And coming soon, yes?
Yes, coming soon. There, it should be next year, that because you need to be organic on the process, and you need to have the organic grapes and everything. So, and we're also looking at with a no sulfite added sparkling.
Fantastic. Yeah, we're very excited to look. We look forward to that. Another question is, how do you see Bordeaux as a region developing? It's always been known for its reds, but what else? Obviously, we've got the rosé and the white. How do you see that developing as a region?
Well, Bordeaux has always been known for the Grand Cru classé. So that was what made the fame of Bordeaux. And in people's mind, Bordeaux was, oh, it's too expensive. But in the last 10 years, we've done, I think, a great job in promoting Bordeaux. Especially, I mean, we're known for our reds, but our whites, our whites sales have up more than the reds, which is impressive. I mean, it's impressive. Usually it was the Burgundy white wines that did very well. But the Bordeaux white wines, we did a terrible job for years to promote them. And we have some fantastic whites. We have some fantastic rosés. So people are now seeing Bordeaux like, wow, you make whites and you make rosé, and at that price? Oh, amazing. Yeah, so in the last years, it's been very dynamic. The appellation is very dynamic in going out there and promoting our wines, and we're organic, and we're check out our white wines. They're easy drinking. They can pair with anything. Same thing with the rosé. So yes, Bordeaux is very dynamic, and people are seeing it more as accessible and tasty wines.
So with the reds in particular, is there aging potential and even with some of the whites that are the white that's being produced that's oak aged as well?
Yes, so the white that's oak age, you can go to 5 years, decant it, and you can then go up to 4 to 5 years. With the reds, on a Bordeaux, Léo de la Garde, you can go up to 3 to 5 years. And then when you go to Cuvée Prestige, Château de la Garde, Cuvée Prestige, Grand Millésime, or La Jolie, that you can keep for a while. 10 to 15, no issues.
And have you tasted one of those wines that's been kept back for a while?
Sure, that's Jean-Pierre's thing. Is every time we drink La Garde, old vintage Garde.
Nice.
Yeah. He has sometimes we tell him, can we taste something else? He's like, no, you have the best. Why do you want something else?
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. And we kind of had a comment about the back label, as you guys can see. We do try and provide a lot of great information, which is very helpful for consumers to get that right off the shelf. It's also great for people in a restaurant, servers in a restaurant, to get a quick 3-second look at the wine and be able to tell their customers a little bit about that, and to cheat with what's it great paired with, and even if it's someone who doesn't have a lot of knowledge about that wine. Is there anything else that you want to say about that, about the labeling?
Well, the labeling is great, thanks to Natural Merchants. We actually got a medal at the Los Angeles Wine Competition on the label being modern and very explicative. It was a while ago, but I was the designer was very pleased when I sent him the certificate, actually. So now what we tried to be very efficient in the label. I mean, what do you want to know? I mean, the first thing I do is grab my bottle and turn it around to see, okay, who's my producer? Oh, family owned. Okay, chemical free. Okay, I got my grapes, and then I got my servings. Perfect. So no, what we try to do is help out as much as possible.
Do you keep the same style labels for all the countries, or is that just a US?
No, I think the US have that preferred label, but we try to be explicative, I mean, I don't like to get a bottle and there's nothing written, not even the wine varietal, and you have to go look on the internet and most of the time not find anything. So no, we try to have one sentence. We try to have at least the wine varietals. No, we try to be a little bit explicative. Maybe not as beautiful as this one, but we try to.
Yeah, fantastic. And it really is, as Ed is saying, it's really the silent salesperson on the shelf as well for consumers. I know that anytime I'm in a wine store and I look for something that's unusual and it catches my eye, I'm going to turn it around. And if there's great pairing information in particular and notes about the wine, it's super helpful. So what do you, to everybody, what would you pair with this rosé? Stephanie, you were talking about barbecue. Mm-hmm. And the chicken with the pesto.
Yeah, the grilled prawns or the chicken with lemon confit.
Ooh,
pretty good.
That sounds awesome. Anybody else have any ideas for what we're gonna go drink this with lunch? I think it's a great brunch wine personally. I'm gonna have it with roasted beet salad coming up here for lunch.
Definitely.
I think it actually pairs also well with some nice cheeses. I work in the cheese world as well, and I like that it goes with a variety of cheeses because of its somewhat robustness. So you can go with something with a little funk, or you can go, with a little more mushroomy even works with it just fine. It's beautiful, and of course with goat cheese is always beautiful. So.
Yeah, the white and the rosé. The white I have with a goat cheese salad where you put a little bit of honey on top and cumin, and that's beautiful. But definitely with a nice Comté, aged Comté or something like that.
Exactly what I was thinking. Comté is so nice with this.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you so much. These wines are beautiful. The quality is really nice, and the price is fantastic. We at Good Earth do really well with these wines, so thank you. They're beautiful.
Thank you for your support, and Eric as well. And thanks to Annie and everybody who's out there selling these wines. We greatly appreciate that. If there's nothing else, then I think we'll call it good and probably go drink the rest of our bottle.
Definitely.
Are you able to play that video again with the sound this time, or
I
I don't know what happened?
can't. I'm sorry, I muted myself and I didn't realize, of course, that it would mute the video also. You know, hey, we're all learning. And let me pull that up really quick and we can end with that. And thank you all greatly for joining us today. We'll let you know, we'll keep you posted if there are any additional wine tastings. And if you guys have any specific questions or thoughts about what you'd like to see next, as well as if you have any questions about any of the wines in our portfolio, please do send me a direct message. It's lisa@naturalmerchants.com. And this has been recorded, so we will also send you guys out a link that can be shared with anybody as well.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. And
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, George. Nice seeing you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank
seeing
you,
you,
Annie.
Stephanie.
Nice seeing you too. Nice seeing
Nice seeing
everybody.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you for taking the time, and you have a great day.
You have a great night.
Thank
Ciao.
you.
Get to bed.
Yeah, almost in bed.
Okay. Well, thank you
guys
all.
have
I'm gonna.
Great evening. Thank you.
Oui,
Everyone.
merci.
Merci beaucoup. Merci d'être là.
Merci à vous.
See you soon.
I'm gonna end with sharing my screen, and thanks to everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day.